It is post-match pints. James Sutton, Steve Graves. I'm Neil Atkinson. Let me let you in on a secret. Basically, this building's closing and they're turning the power off in a bit. So ultimately, this is going to be a slightly shorter post-match show than it would normally post-match pint than it would normally be, because we've got to get it edited, uploaded, and out towards you, which is a real shame, because Steve Graves, you could dwell on each of the Darwin Nunez goals as much as you wanted. We could spend hours. He gets 4 of them. 4. One's a penalty that the keeper probably should save. The 4th, the keeper probably should save. But the 2nd and 3rd just showed his quality.
2nd and 3rd, they were like... The second, because you get enough time to think about it as you're watching it, and you think, if he scores this, then I'm in, because you just think this should be his meat and drink, and it was. And then the 3rd, you just think, when it comes across, you just know he's going to score, and that's like based off seeing him for minutes, really. I'm already convinced that I would back him with my life to take a chance in a big moment in a game, and moments big and small, because ultimately he's going to score a lot of goals, I think, and that's what he's been bought for. And you just see it courses through him, and even the 4th goal, it's just a proper goal scorer's goal, because he takes it early, hits it really hard, and ultimately, the goalkeepers aren't always brilliant. These things happen, and if you've got it on target, you've hit it hard a lot of the time. Salah at his best, you see that a lot of the time. It finds a way in.
What I also love is he's around for other chances. There's a couple of headers in there. There's one that flashes across. The thing is, if you've got a pure number 9 like this, you want to be able to say you couldn't keep him out the action. And we couldn't keep him out the action. He scores 4. It could have been 6. It could also just been 2. But the point would be, he was just constantly present in the game. And for me, that was the most exciting thing.
He's so lively, isn't he? So lively. And you look, it's only a pre-season game. And I know there's been so much noise surrounding him on the back of the previous pre-season games.
From losers.
Not my words, but yeah.
My words, losers. Those people will lose. Bedwetters. Bedwetters.
Absolutely.
Losers.
And you don't want to buy too much into a pre-season game. However, when you have a pre-season game where one of your players scores 4. Suddenly, just to remind everybody, suddenly that pre-season game matters. And actually, what we see from him today is exactly why we bought him. He's an absolute goal scorer. But actually, I thought everybody played really well.
They did look good.
Especially going forward. Even when we make the changes, Curtis Jones, who has got a huge season ahead of him, comes on and does absolutely brilliantly. Carvalho, I've been waxing lyrical for him for ages. People have been sleeping on this kid. Let me tell you, he is the real deal. He's absolute mustard, isn't he?
I was drinking, but yeah, he is. I thought Elliot was great as well. I thought Elliot was the absolute business, actually.
Absolutely.
Even what he tried that didn't come off. He tries to do some stuff so first time, it's ridiculous at times. Like he can't quite, his brain's a bit faster than his feet or something. But that excites me, because at some point his feet are going to get to where his brain is. And he's already absolutely brilliant. And he's unlucky not to score a header himself.
Yeah, he really is. And so everybody looks really fit as well. I thought Salah looked really sharp. I thought Mo Salah looked like he'd had a rest. His shoulders were down. He looked chilled. He looked excited. He looked really, really vibrant and looking forward to the season ahead, which is not of Mo Salah that we saw towards the end of last season. So there's positives all over the park, aren't there?
There are positives all over the park. There's the lad who comes on. You had his name nailed before. Bajcetic, marvellous stuff.
Say it again, sorry?
Bajcetic.
I'm going to go for Bajcetic.
Bajcetic, yeah, we'll go for.
We'll go for that until we're
corrected otherwise. And by all means, do correct us otherwise. More than happy to be corrected, because we'll nail this. Not least because he looks like a footballer who might get some games for Liverpool. We could do with learning his name quite quickly.
Yeah.
He's not on the squad number list on the site. No.
You saw quality on the ball. I think you saw command of his position. A couple of times when he basically tells James Milner where to be to receive the ball, which takes some doing for a player at his stage in his career. And most of all, I think you see the physicality and it's the difference between, I don't want to get too down on Tyler Morton, but ultimately I think you could see all the quality Tyler Morton had last season, but at times you just thought maybe at this point physicality is going to be a challenge for him. Bajcetic moving from centre half into that number 6 position, you sort of price in the physicality. Is a bit of a shortcut to it, I suppose. The fact that he can also play is fantastic. Suddenly looks like a contender to get minutes. I'm not going to go overboard and say start lots of games for Liverpool this season. But get minutes. With the five subs with League Cup and even like a dead rubber in the Champions League, you can see him making an impression, making an impact, and being an important player at times for Liverpool, and you see that all over. None of us were sure whether Carvalho was, with an eye to the future.
He's not.
Well, he's with half an eye to the future.
Oh yeah, but
and an eye and a half on right now, and he just looks the part. He looks the part in a sort of more midfieldy role, but also as wide in the three. Really exciting. I think you saw Elliott play more advanced today again.
Yep.
And again, it's that flexibility they've got, and then Jones.
I'll come back to Elliott play more advanced, because what I think is interesting is Elliott's more advanced in a period where it's Darwin who's number 9. Like I think the issue with Elliott playing as, in inverted commas, Salah cover is if he has to be Salah, where he's the furthest forward and he's meant to break forward and use his pace and run behind the run between centre back and full back. That's not his natural thing that he wants to do. He wants to come and fill the gap. But if there's another footballer who's going to play as the number 9, it feels easier for me, therefore, in that context, for Elliott to come and do that, to allow the idea that it's Darwin who gets to do that stuff.
And then collectively for the team, it takes a slight pressure off that position, having to deliver 35 goals in a season.
Yeah.
If Darwin's scoring, let's say 80. I'm being conservative for the purposes of the film,